Murder She Watched contains adult themes and adult language. Listener discretion is advised. Murder She Watched is for entertainment purposes only. Hello, couch detectives. Welcome to Murder She Watched, the podcast where we solve murders from our couches. My name's Amy Archer. I'm your host. I'm here today with my RAV4 fellow detective, Kyla. Hello, Kyla.
Hi, Amy.
I just want to say up front before we begin this episode that we are couch detectives. We are not lawyers. We are not investigators. We are nothing like of the sort.
Yes, very true.
Everything that we've gathered for our little deep dive episode that we're doing on Mackenzie Shirilla today and the crash is from other sources on the internet. A lot of it is, alleged stuff. We will cite our sources, but also, we're couch detectives again. Like we're not. This is not.
We're not legal experts.
Thank you. This is not a legally
and we don't know the ins and
culpable podcast.
Yeah, we are not culpable. Another Sister Wives word.
And a lot of this is our opinion.
Yes, that too. It's opinion and observation. And obviously we couldn't see everything.
Yeah.
There's so much right now, but
we saw enough.
To
make a judgment.
Yes.
Everybody is talking about this.
Everybody's obsessed. It's sweeping the nation. It is hot topic.
And these parents. So let me walk you through what's going on with me internally.
Yes.
So I'm a Libra. I'm wishy-washy. I'm very soft-hearted.
I know.
And so the fact that people are coming so hard for these people is it's kind of agitating that side of me, but I know every time I feel like, oh my God, we're really piling on, something bad can happen here, I think of Davion and I think of Dom.
Yeah.
Like, you know what? Let what is going to happen. Like if people want pile on.
No, I totally agree. I was thinking about that too, because remember we discussed that they did not come off in the best light and it was probably not, they were not going to be received well. And we're seeing that now. And I thought the same thing. It's really hard, and we'll talk about, I know everybody knows about, he lost his job. Steve Shirilla did. And that's tough because you and I are both financially conscious people who like losing my livelihood. Devastating. Yeah. And I feel for anybody going through that, but it's tough. Like you said, it's
but also you're as a teacher. I am so fucking appalled by this. And why did I not notice that he was a teacher?
Nobody knew. That? I think that was a pretty new revelation because all the articles online, everybody was like, this guy's a teacher?
Okay, because somebody said in our comments, like, oh, it was in the doc. I'm like, I don't think that would have stuck out to me.
Same. And I watched it a lot, before we recorded. I don't remember them saying that. Now, maybe they said it in one of the Mean Girl murders or the killer case.
Maybe.
And I did only watch those once. So I maybe could have missed that, but I really don't remember it in the crash.
As a teacher, I think I would have remembered.
Yes. But especially because you were so struck by that, right? Like,
yes.
You would have remembered that.
Yeah. So that's where I'm at emotionally with this case.
Yeah. It's hard.
Look, pile on her all you want, right? But now I see people are really piling on her friends, and I'm like,
I know.
Again, I'm not saying these are nice people, but it's like I just worry something's
watching the fallout's hard. Yeah, it's hard to watch. It's scary because you don't know, and what a nightmare to be navigating.
But that being said, again, Davion and Dom are no longer here.
And Dom and their families are going through something worse. So
and these people should be held responsible.
Yes, actions have consequences, like we talked about.
They should at least be held responsible, and I'm glad they're being held responsible for what they said.
That's the thing, right? And we live in an era where, unfortunately, it can spread like wildfire on the internet, social media. So if you misspeak and misstep, it's tough. It's tough.
Yeah. And if you want to, if Steve Shirilla wanted to walk back those statements or be like, look, blah, blah, blah. Well, I don't recommend going on TMZ and doubling down
That
is
was
all
not
I
the
have to
place
say.
to do it. And, yeah, that's breaking news. We both just watched that and, ooh.
Yeah, so
Those TMZ hosts were not gentle.
Oh, no. No.
They were
So how I wanna do this is I want to include, our listener feedback like we always do with our deep dive. So just so you guys know, the
Yeah.
deep dives are something we usually put, on our paywall, behind our paywall, which is our murder club. You can join for
Yeah.
$8 a month, help support the podcast, pay the bills, but also, you get exclusive access to, we've done The Staircase, we've done Murdoch Murders, you and I did Maura Murray, like, we've done a ton of stuff over there. And we do deep dives there, but this one I want to put on the free feed because we put the case on the free feed, so I feel like I wanted people to be able to hear it who enjoyed the documentary.
Exactly, and I think we're all on this hyperfixation together right now.
But part of what we do as this deep dive is we usually, like, share our listener feedback. So these I went through and I got a ton of messages from people. So
I bet you did.
I went and picked, like, a few that I thought, we could kinda talk about. First, Kyla, you commented that you had gotten some information incorrect about POTS.
Do you know how much?
Talk about that?
I can't even talk about it. I was like, the minute I thought about that as soon as my alarm clock went off in the morning and I knew it was the day, I was like, it's tachycardia. Oh my God, Kyla, you know better than that.
You know what? You could just say, very much like Mackenzie and her mother talking in another language. You could just say this to me and I would be like, okay, sure. Anything medical, you just say it to me and I'm going to believe it.
You'd believe me. Yeah. Postural orthostatic tachycardic syndrome. I can't even. One of my friends gave me a really hard time for messing that up.
Okay. All right. Listener Katie writes, as a teacher, when they talked about how Kenzie was problematic in high school and her dad backed her up every time, that's all I needed to hear about her character and his. Yes. I know people like this, and it is ridiculous to not believe your child is capable of anything. Hell yeah. Yep. And I would never, she goes, I would never say my kid would never. I never say that. I am in full agreement. Full agreement.
Haven't we all gotten a call from the school where they're like, yeah, they tell you something, you're like, oh, all right. Yep. I'll be there.
And Katie totally believes that Mackenzie made an impulsive decision and killed these boys. And yeah, that's kind of where we're all landing on this.
I think so too.
Christina wanted to talk about the idea to have a bench trial. She said, in her opinion, the jury would have hated her. And at least with the bench trial, she had a bigger chance of being sentenced to the 15 years instead of the 30. She thinks that she would have done worse with the jury.
I think that's a good point. And, jury, it's a variable. It's going to depend on your audience, but some people would be, especially with the social media videos, be totally rubbed the wrong way.
And Elizabeth added to this comment about the jury trial and said, I completely agree. Her online behavior was so obnoxious, even if it is appropriate for Gen Zers. And her lack of remorse was so damning. It's hard to imagine a jury of millennials and Gen Xers and boomers staying objective after seeing all of that, regardless of their best intentions. I agree with that.
That's a very, very, very good point. Yep.
And I'll read one more and then we'll jump into some of our evidence. Chris writes, I honestly believe this was a murder-suicide attempt where she thought she would die but survived by pure chance. She also didn't think it through and impulsively made that choice in the car. I do believe that. I do. Yeah,
the impulsivity.
I do believe it was an impulse decision. I can't speak to whether or not she thought she would die, but how could you think you would survive that?
Correct. I feel like it's probably an understood risk in that moment, at minimum.
And Chris also says, I also wonder if it were Davian from the back seat trying to lean forward and take the wheel and shifter, and that's how he ended up in the front seat on top of Dom.
Very good point. Very good point.
Yep. Okay, so where do we want to go? Let's talk about everybody wanted us to watch the Mean Girl murders.
Yes. So we did.
And I'm just going to give, you have more extensive notes than I do, but I will say that I didn't think it added a ton besides just confirming what we know about her character, which is pretty awful.
Correct. I think we got a few more specific stories. And we did hear some different voices, but I would agree, not a whole lot of new information, but it's always good to see other perspectives, right?
The
and
one
different
thing
techniques.
yeah, absolutely, and the one thing that stood out to me was they talked about the route that she had been there before, but then I also saw other people saying that that's a pretty busy street
I
or
saw that too.
yeah,
Mhm.
so, like and when you think about it, she was driving it that night. I
Yeah,
don't know. I just I'm not sold 100% that she was casing that out because she could have
I
smashed
agree.
into anything and
Right,
had the
and if
same
it's an
result.
impulsive moment, you're not gonna I feel like you're not gonna
Mhm.
be like, "Wait, I have to go to the place that I wanted to go to." I
Yeah,
agree. I'm not
yeah.
giving it no credence, but that's not a big thing for me.
I
That's not a
agree.
big thing for
I
me.
agree. So what else did you find from Mean Girl Mars? Kyla guys, Kyla has, no cards. I
Yeah,
just wanna
I'm
say.
old-fashioned.
Mhm,
Amy has
mhm.
been slowly pulling me into technology, and I've been embracing it, but, you will pry my note cards out of my cold dead hands.
Mhm, mhm. I appreciate that about you.
Thank you. So, some of the things that I thought were interesting that we didn't see in the crash was people who went to school with her hearing their stories, and I thought it was very interesting, and I'm sure you caught this, that people said she didn't become such the mean bully she did until high school, that it was
Yeah.
almost like a switch flipped. I thought that was really interesting.
Yeah, and a lot of people seem to imply that it correlated, with her relationship with Dom, and that
Yes,
he was, like, really hot and high value stock as a boyfriend.
he was a commodity, yeah, and I
Mhm,
mean, we he was so cute, and he sounds like he had a lot going for him.
mhm, mhm,
And it was sad to me to hear that she really was such a vicious, mean bully from these stories that these
mhm,
people shared, and, keeping keeping a list of people you don't like and ideas on how
mm,
you can bully them,
mm-mm.
I mean, if that doesn't speak to somebody's character, I really don't know what does.
And this is where speaking as somebody if you're new to our show, like, I have 2 19-year-old daughters.
Mhm.
Kyla, your son is 12?
12-year-old son, yep.
So, like, we're at different parenting
Mhm,
ages.
mhm.
You're coming kinda into this, I'm
Yes.
exiting it.
Yeah.
But as somebody who raised kids through high school, girls
Oh,
specifically, I can tell you that if I got one phone call from the principal saying that my girls were bullying somebody or there was an
mm.
incident where they were perceived to be bullying, that is the parental intervention that you can put in place right there.
Yes, that should
Like,
be a very upsetting moment.
yeah, you don't go into the school and say, "They're lying. My daughter didn't do that."
She said she
There's
didn't do it.
and there is a third story always, right? There's your story, and then the
Yes.
truth somewhere in the middle. So, like, yes, you could listen to your kid and listen to
Mhm.
their side of it, but always go in being suspicious. Come on, guys, they're teenagers.
Especially when there's a pattern, right?
Mhm,
When this is
mhm,
a recurring
mhm,
theme in life,
mhm. Yep.
I don't know, and it was crazy because they said people were legitimately kind of afraid of her and didn't
Yeah,
wanna cross her or deal with her, and
yeah.
that's just so sad, that it was
Had
like that.
had her parents intervened at that early of an age, like, what would
Right,
have happened, right?
right.
And just,
Ugh,
make it very clear, like and I'm gonna say something else. A lot of parents listening out there are like, "Huh, I never had to explicitly tell my kid not to be a bully." And I get that. I never had to explicitly tell my
right.
kids that. I led by example. I am not a bully.
Yes.
And I always try to teach my kids empathy and kindness.
You have the empathy. That
So
is the factor.
what is she
Mhm.
not getting from home?
Right. And, once we get into phone call territory, I mean, lots of things start to click and connect and make sense. But yes, the lack of empathy is so upsetting.
And I'll tell you
And
too, like, one of the things that my therapist always told me is kids crave boundaries. They
yes,
want them. And a lot of
structure.
times that can look a lot of different ways. Like if they're acting out and they're
Mhm,
angry, they could
mhm.
be angry because they don't feel supported or you know what I mean? Like,
Yes,
and they don't know how to articulate that.
absolutely, absolutely. I mean, prior to, I'm a special needs parent for those of you that don't know that are new. And my son was not, verbal until he was about 4 or 5,
Mhm.
and we dealt with lots of that situation because he's frustrated because he can't communicate with us, and
Mhm.
it's there's just so many things that tie back to that. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. All right.
But
Anything else from Mean Girl?
not really. There was a couple things that about Dom specifically from there that I thought were really interesting.
Okay.
So it said that his family was very affluent. Remember, we had talked about that.
Yes.
So that
Yes.
was new information,
Mhm.
and that his
Mhm.
house was right by his parents.
Mhm.
So that
And this is like dividing the internet, because some people are like, well, there was a scale, there was this, there was that, there was a lot of money, and
yes.
other people are like, well, he comes from money. So we don't know.
We
We don't
don't
know to
know.
make a judgment what Dom was doing.
No, but he did, his everyone does say that he was an aspiring singer. He had a
Mhm.
sound studio in his house.
Yes,
That's
which
pretty
is why
crazy, recording
Davion
studio.
was going over there quite a bit.
Yes, because
Mhm.
Davion was wanting to record and do all of that, and he was starting some clothing lines. He
Mhm.
was,
He was in
um
crypto.
yeah, crypto and stocks and all that, and he
Mhm.
he was one of those, like, just entrepreneurs, it sounds like.
Mhm.
Everybody knows
Mhm.
somebody like that, right?
And I'll be honest with you, like, once I thought about it, the whole drug dealing thing, I'm like, it really doesn't matter. It really
Correct.
doesn't matter. Like,
Yeah.
we'll get into it, but a lot of people are like, "And she did sex work." Doesn't matter. It
Yes.
really doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. It
Nothing
doesn't
about
matter.
that affected the crash, unless they're
Exactly.
fighting about that. But even then, they could have been fighting about anything.
Anything.
Mhm.
Yes, they're young, they're 20 and 17. I mean, it could be literally
Mhm.
anything. They've been up all
Yeah.
night with their friends, so,
Yeah.
yeah, I
Yeah.
agree. But, yeah, that was really it from the Mean Girl murders. It was very good. I did like it. Thank you for
Mhm.
recommending it, but
I
yeah.
liked it too. I almost watched the next episode, and then I
I
had to
know.
for those of you who do not know, I am a lady of a certain age who loves to take to my bathtub. So I had to get out of the tub, so I couldn't watch the next episode.
I hate when things like that happen.
So
Soak 'em
you
longer.
you also spent some time with a YouTube channel called Bougie Behind Bars, right?
Yes, I have to give credit where credit is due. Now, Bougie Behind Bars is a channel run by a woman named Kat.
Mhm.
I liked her videos. She was very informative. She spent time incarcerated with Mackenzie.
Mhm. She has,
She
like, does she have, like, long blonde hair? I think I saw
Yes.
this going around. Okay, yeah,
Probably,
yeah,
yeah. Yeah,
yeah.
she was at the tail end of her sentence as Mackenzie was coming in, and they were not really friends, but they were all there together, and
Mhm.
I cannot recommend watching her videos enough.
Mm.
It's so insightful, and
Okay.
she's very transparent about it, and she explains why she was incarcerated and everything. She's not trying to do anything.
Yeah, yeah.
So, I just have some bullet points from some of her different videos that I thought was just fascinating information.
Okay.
So, food for thought. She said now she was out of prison by the time this all happened with the documentary and everything,
Okay.
but she knew people because, you stay friends with people, and she's
Mhm.
had some other people who spent time incarcerated with them be interviewed on her channel.
Okay.
She said the word was that Mackenzie thought doing this documentary was going to help her get an appeal.
I heard this as well, and there's
Ugh.
just no way. You
There is
mean
no
those
way.
3 minutes at the end where your mother had this, quote, "damning evidence" that turned out really to be nothing?
Oh my gosh. I know, but
Mm-mm.
hey,
Mm-mm.
and she said that everybody was kinda like, "Oh, sure. Okay."
Okay.
And she said that, Mackenzie really never spoke about Dom or Davion at all. She never talked about her
Mm.
case. She said she never was walking around crying or acting remorseful, that she just really from as soon as she got there was into the social situation, trying to figure out that dynamic. And when we get to the phone calls, we're gonna talk a lot more about that because,
Okay.
yes, this was a
That's
big deal to her.
That could be, not to give her too much credit, but we are critical thinkers, and we like to
Yes.
look at things from different
Yes.
angles. That could be survival too, right? Like,
Yes.
if you threw me in jail tomorrow, like, first thing I'd be trying to do is get the lay of the land and figure out how I'm gonna survive.
Totally. And you know what
Mhm.
else I thought? She was 17, and she had
Mhm.
just graduated high school a few months at that point, I'm not sure, but she was not 17 at this point, but even that she was young, and
Yeah.
I think we can agree that she was not the most I don't know, she was still pretty juvenile, I think, is what I'm trying to
Yeah, yeah,
say.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure that her social status was super important to her.
Yeah, and she has she has a total lack of awareness and 0, accountability for anything. She's never been taught to take accountability, so
Yes.
0 consequences.
Yeah, and
Mhm.
she said that, Mackenzie's commissary account and all of her possessions were just tenfold above everybody else. She said
Yeah,
her
I'm sure.
parents kept a lot of money on her books and would buy her she explained there's certain things you can get on commissary that can only be ordered from someone else and have sent to you and different things,
Mhm.
and she would get all of that. And she would have jewelry. Her mom would send her jewelry, makeup. She said that's how you get real makeup. I have so many questions about the jewelry. I don't know.
This is like the documentary we did where they were like smushing down the food and sending it under a door. I don't know if you heard this yet.
Yeah.
But how do you get jewelry into a jail? And
So I think it was jail approved jewelry. After watching it, I think that's what she was saying. But she said Mackenzie would make jewelry and sell it too in prison. And that was one of the ways she made money. And she said she was still always in fashion and into fashion. And so one of the things she would get in trouble for, because remember we talked about at the end that she's been in a lot of disciplinary trouble, was modifying her clothes in a like quote illegal way. And
was she doing the crop top? Because that's what my kid would be doing in jail.
Yeah, come on,
those shorts would be cut in half with the crop top. I'd be like, oh,
stop it. Yeah. But yeah, so that's some of the stuff she's gotten in trouble for. And now this was very, very interesting. So she said, allegedly in prison, Mackenzie's story was that she was high on mushrooms. That's what she would tell the other inmates when the crash happened. So
interesting.
Yes.
Because let me tell you, Annie Elise on Seriously.
Yes.
I can never say that.
Serialously.
Yeah. She said that there were a couple things left out of the doc that she had. So they had approached Annie Elise in 2023 to be part of a documentary on this. And they sent her a bunch of information as part of that. And she went through it. And one of the things she said is there's a lot of hijinks with the toxicology report.
Yes. Yes, there is.
Like the blood was taken, then thrown away, and then taken a few days later. So like we can't even be confident of what was in her system at the time of the crash.
Yes. And
all we know is there was THC.
There was THC. And I think it was Annie Elise who said this too. That they don't test for the psilocybin. I always say that word wrong. The chemical in the mushrooms. That's not on a standard toxicology screen. So you have to specifically test for that. And I did look that up. That was one of my nerdy fixations I went on. How long it stays in your system. It's got a really short half-life. It's in your urine for up to 48 hours, your blood up to 15, and your saliva up to 12. And then your hair for like 90
15
days.
Hours?
Hours.
Days?
Hours. All that was hours. Yeah. So it said it clears out of your blood pretty quickly.
So she absolutely could have been on them. Maybe.
Yeah. Right. They had a small window of time, and they're not going to do a hair test in the hospital, I imagine.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
But yeah, that was really interesting. So she said that Kenzie told everybody in jail that she was on mushrooms. And everyone thought that. So she said a lot of this was very new information from the story she was telling. Or after her trial, they learned like, oh, that's not really what happened.
Let me ask you this. Do you think she was on mushrooms? Because now that I'm talking and thinking about it, I don't think she was.
I don't know. I mean,
I think it might be part of an excuse to make it seem like an accident.
Yes, I agree, because they seem to really... You can tell, and some of the things her parents talk about, like they're like, "Oh, why couldn't there be more on that drug test or on the results?" I think you're right. Yeah,
yeah. And I think too, like this is what drives me crazy about this girl, and this is why everybody is hating her right now. Is teenagers make stupid fucking decisions all the time. Yes. How many times? I know I've done it. You know, I've driven a car when I shouldn't have driven a car and shit like that.
Same.
It's the complete lack of remorse. Like if she had, let's say for argument's sake, her and Dom got into this big fight and she in a fit of rage, you know, her brain isn't fully formed yet. She's got fucking drugs in her system. She slams that gas pedal down and she slams into that wall and she kills those beautiful two boys or whatever, right? And then she is just devastated and immediately tells everybody what happened and can't forgive herself and is crying and pleading guilty. Like that's not what we saw
at all.
No. And even Davian's father said that in the thing. I have a capacity for forgiveness.
Yes.
But I think what he was saying, I'm putting words in his mouth here slightly, but how I interpreted it was, I just need some accountability. Like
none.
Just tell me what happened. Tell me the truth.
Yes.
Yeah,
you're right. You're totally right, because she hasn't.
No, and that's what sets her aside.
Yes.
Sets her apart. I mean, from from other teenagers who've been in this situation.
Exactly this. And, while we're talking about her lack of accountability, this cat from the Bougie Behind Bars channel, she was explaining that she doesn't think that Mackenzie will get parole at her 15 years
Mm-mm.
for a multitude of reasons. But she said one of the main ones is going to be that she has not taken accountability and
No,
shows no remorse.
no.
And, multitude of other reasons, disciplinary issues
And she
and
has been
everything. But
raised that way her whole life.
yes.
She's
And
she's probably never had to say, I'm sorry.
mhm,
You know what I mean?
know.
She's probably never heard her parents say it to each other or to her. Like, it's just, there's zero accountability.
It's kind of wild to see, isn't it? I mean,
Mhm.
so just somebody so willfully like, "Nope, nope, I
Mhm.
didn't do it."
Mhm. Yeah.
I don't
Because
know.
again, like, these are she was a teenager.
Yes.
Teenagers get drunk, teenagers get
Yes.
high, and teenagers do stupid shit and make really careless, stupid decisions, and
Yes.
people die all the time in this country.
Yes.
But, like,
Yes.
what sets her apart is just this
Not even
stone cold wall of, no pun intended, of, like,
yes.
"What? I didn't do it. What are you talking about? I didn't do anything. I don't
And
know what you're talking about."
it's wild that it's not like getting through to her to be like, "Hey, she's not even trying to fake it." You know
No.
what I mean?
No.
That's the
No.
part that is so infuriating to people.
So I'm not surprised that she's walking around jail just being like, "Hey, when's the next bingo night?" Like, she doesn't give a fuck. It's
No,
wild.
and, that's what Kat said that was some people would kinda chatter about that, like, that's kinda
Mhm.
weird, like, wouldn't you think
Mhm.
that if you caused something so horrific, you'd not be, like, normal about it? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Not just I
Like,
don't
there
know.
are things, Kyla, in my life that I beat myself up for that
Mhm.
are so ridiculously stupid, and nobody probably got hurt
Or
or are
has ever thought
thinking
about it
about
again,
it
right? Yeah.
again. Right. But, like,
Those
I
are
don't
those
know.
thoughts that at 2 AM when you're laying wide awake and you're like, "When I was in 7th grade in English
Mhm.
class, why did I
Mhm.
say that?" You know?
I will tell you with my full chest, and this is honest to God true. There was a girl on my bus in middle school who everybody used to bully, and
Yeah.
I never said anything. Like, I didn't bully her, but I never stood up for her. It haunts me to this day. I lay in bed and think about it.
Girl,
She doesn't give a shit.
no, but you think about it, you're like, "Why didn't I say
Yes. Yes.
anything?"
Yes.
Oh,
Yes. It's
yes.
just this girl is missing that. And I would love to hear from therapists or child psychologists who can kind of
Yes.
talk about the adolescent
Mhm,
progression of that
mhm.
gene that you get, or
That's a
that
really good point.
that like that characteristic of
Yeah,
being able to feel empathy and feel and take
right.
accountability for things. Like,
Yes.
how is that missing in this girl? That's what I need to know.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it shows in multiple parts of her life. It's not
Yeah,
just this.
let's talk about, I wanna get to the phone calls. Do you have anything
Yes.
more on Cat and Bougie Behind Bars?
Yes, she did
Okay.
say she thought it was important, to note that Mackenzie did not one time ever have a medical incident with her POTS while
Oh,
incarcerated.
oh,
So,
somebody else weighed in on this, and they were like, I forget if they said my daughter or somebody had POTS,
yeah,
and oh, here it is, Lydia. Okay, our listener, Lydia. She
yeah.
said, "I can't get behind the POTS defense. As a nurse, the orthostatic part is key. It refers to a sudden change in positioning, sitting to standing, lying to sitting. If she was driving, I doubt she was able to change positions enough to induce an emergency."
Such a good
Good
point.
point.
Such
Mhm.
a good point.
Very
Boom.
good point. Yep.
Yeah, she said it
Okay.
never came up, and, she said it was really funny when Mackenzie first got there. She just was kind of saying to everybody like, "Oh, I'm not gonna be here long. I'm gonna be leaving soon." Like, it really was not registering with her.
Where'd
This
she
is
think she was going?
I don't know. Like, she just kept saying, like, "They're gonna get me out of here," and, like, it's just crazy, and she said she never seemed stressed about any of it, like,
Mhm.
she said, "Most
Mhm.
people are just stewing over their case, and they're, like, horrified by it," but she's just like,
Mhm.
"Whatever,"
Yeah.
and then she was also known for being a bully in prison, and
Shocker.
yeah, they said she would make fun of people who don't have anything because, there's people who have no commissary, no
Okay,
place to
see?
go.
Mm-mm,
She
mm-mm,
makes fun
mm-mm.
well, and we'll get to it in the calls, but,
This is a
her
very, very hurt child. I don't know what happened to this kid.
yes,
Wow.
yes.
Wow.
Why are you enjoying being mean?
Yeah,
That's
why are you just so angry at the world? Like something's up there. All right, let's get into the phone calls because you spent a lot of time listening to phone calls between Mackenzie and her mother.
May my YouTube algorithm rest in peace. It's destroyed. I need to make a second one.
My YouTube algorithm, since we've been covering, if you guys are missing Tiger King coverage, it's something. And my YouTube algorithm is all Joe Exotic now because I'm like looking up all his videos to use them for the episodes.
Oh no, YouTube thinks you love Joe.
Yes. So it's pretty wild. Anyway,
I want to see what you're going to get suggested when they run out of Joe Exotic.
Oh yeah, should be interesting.
Okay, so the language they speak in. I want to talk about that. Did you watch any of the videos about? Everybody kept calling it gibberish.
Okay, I have to talk about this.
I don't know if that's what you call it.
So the mean girls in my high school used to have a language and they used to talk.
Are you serious?
Yes. And I kind of deciphered it. So like say I was going to say fuck you, it would be like fidagak yidagoo, like that. Like it had things in between.
I saw something about that specific version online. Okay.
Yeah, and I made it my mission because they were usually talking about me if they were near me. I made it my mission to kind of figure out what they were talking about, but I didn't know if it definitely was not Pig Latin. I know what Pig Latin is, but like I didn't know what it was.
So I watched so many videos about this, and they're called versions of gibberish. Okay. And were you a Zoom kid? Did you watch Zoom on PBS?
No.
I was a PBS kid.
Yeah, I was too, but I think I was too old for that.
I thought it was on in the 80s too, but maybe not.
I don't know. I used to watch like The Electric Company, Sesame Street, Magic Garden.
So much. So Zoom had a version where you would do like they called it Ubby Dubby. And my friends and I, when we were kids, would speak in that, and you would say like Yabu Abar Hibir, like you are here. And it was
that breaks my brain.
I could never now. So the version of this that Mackenzie is speaking is like has a Z in it. It's like E's and Z's.
Okay.
And if anybody's interested, there's a YouTube channel, and I did forget to write that one down, but someone has translated those conversations. Oh, actually, you know what? Reddit. That was on Reddit, and they had a link to it. So that's why.
Okay.
But you can watch. There was nothing super interesting in there. With that, they talk a lot of shit about Dom's mom.
Well, and where I saw this language pop up is in that video where she's at the hospital.
Yes.
And she's saying to her mother, like, can't we just tell them I had a seizure? And then she says to the cop, can't I just give you my license for 10 years? I'm going to say something.
Yeah.
That is a child. That's a child.
Teenager logic.
Who doesn't understand the consequences.
Yeah. And you don't get to negotiate this.
No.
So yes, that was the tie back to the gibberish. So yeah, if you're interested in that, you can go down a YouTube rabbit hole. Now, it was so interesting, these phone calls. So there's a lot of them. They had to have been spending a fortune on these phone calls. And there's this pattern of conversation with Mackenzie and her mom, where Mackenzie will be kind of spinning out a little bit about something, and her mom will try to talk her off of the ledge a little bit. And then Mackenzie will be like, no. And her mom just completely leans all the way into what she's saying and like bolsters it, if that makes sense.
Okay.
It's really interesting. Their dynamic is really interesting. Almost like she just doesn't want to upset her. She just kind of agrees.
There's a lot of managing of her emotions.
Yes, big time. And Mackenzie is so upset that she's in a protected population. This is an example of it. And her mom's trying to explain to her why she is, because she has a big case and it's a big deal. And she's like, I don't care. I want to be in general population and I don't want to be in this. And her mom's like, yeah. And when she gets to go, it's fascinating. I told Mitchell, it reminds me of a kid talking to their parents about summer camp. Because her mom's like, how is everybody? What's your room look like? Is your roommate nice? And they're talking about the activities. And she's like, oh, that sounds fun. And on one hand, I get that that's your child. And you're like, what do? You need to talk to them about it. But the part that really stuck with me is, first of all, I want to mention this before I forget with the phone calls. And Mackenzie and her mom were both in agreement with this. So when I feel sorry for Natalie, I need to remember this.
Mhm.
Mackenzie has a real hatred for what, and I know this is horrible, but what she deems slow people.
She used that phrase.
Oh, yes. She said something worse that I won't say.
Okay.
But
Wow. Okay.
yeah, she just talks about how they're so annoying and she hates being around them. That's part of why she once moved, because they're always just being so loud and annoying. And
What does she mean by that?
they're just getting on her nerves. I think she's talking about developmentally delayed people, because they spent another phone call making fun of somebody having a mental health
As a
breakdown.
special needs parent, did you want to burn the phone down?
Can you imagine? I was like,
burn the prison down.
So heated.
Mm-hmm.
And that shows another level of lack of empathy.
And her mother's doing it with her.
And her mom's just kind of like, yeah, totally.
Oh no.
It's so frustrating.
No.
It's so frustrating. And her mom is very invested in the gossip, and they talk about the gossip outside of prison a lot too. That was something that was so interesting, is the social media. Mackenzie is very worried about her social media, and she's kind of instructing her mom on like, say this to this person, message this, and she's like, you need to make a group chat for Kenzie updates, and this is who you need to put in it. And she'll be like, did you tell them this? And did you tell them that? And throughout all this, her mom is like, please don't talk to anybody about this. Please don't talk to anybody about this. Just over and over. And, she's getting a lot of people messaging her on her tablet. She has a tablet. And she and her mom are talking about that. Like the people from the outside that are messaging her. And her mom's very invested in the fallout of that. And
well, the mom wasn't very fucking invested in her life before it took this turn.
I know.
Which is the problem.
Well,
she was probably invested in her life in that, like, she was trying to be her friend.
Big time friend energy. Yes. And, they're both just so offended at the judge. They hate that judge. Oh my God. And the mom is so offended that the judge came after her like that. And they both are. It's just crazy. They're just so offended.
So is Mackenzie mean to her mother?
No, not really. She's very eager to talk to her and really lovey-dovey with her. They like say, I love you. They're really affectionate. They do seem like they're best friends. It's real. That's more the dynamic. That was my take.
Which is a problem. It's just a problem. You can be friendly with your kids, but you still have to be their fucking parent.
Well, exactly. And here's a prime example of that. And this caught a lot of flack, and I saw this a few places. So there was all this alleged talk of social media, like right around the time of the accident. And, they're talking about that while Mackenzie is incarcerated. And her mom is telling her that the story went international and that they're talking about it in the UK and it's a big deal. And Mackenzie's like laughing and she's like, oh man, I hope that Kim Kardashian like sees it and reaches out to me.
Are you kidding me?
No. And her mom's like, yeah, that'd be so cool, wouldn't it? And they're like giggling about it. They're giggling about it.
Are they on planet Earth?
That's the thing. No. It's a fascinating dynamic. And
so mom doesn't even give a shit about Davion and Dom. And the judge clocked that. And that's why the mother's pissed off.
Yes. And the mom is so offended that they clocked it. And yeah, they never talk about it. They do not like Dom's family at all. There's a lot of negative talk about them. They don't really talk. Poor Davion. They don't even act like he really exists and everything. And that really is sad.
Such the tragedy of Davion, like 100%.
It's awful.
This is just so disturbing to me because I'm trying to put myself in the mother's shoes. And like, God forbid this was my child, my daughter. I would be like, okay, she is in serious crisis.
Yes.
Because even if she made that decision in that split second, like a broken person makes that decision. Like there's something wrong. You know what I mean? Like, what do you need? I would spend hours talking on the phone to them, just being like, please tell me what is going on with you? Why are you in this state? Like, what is happening?
Right. But there's none of that. It's just they're talking about what'd you do today? What's this like? Who's this person? And who's that person? And
wow.
There's some interesting chatter about Rosie, who was in the crash. I'm sensing that there's mixed feelings there. So I don't know the current status. I think I've seen online that they weren't really that close after this happened, and people were kind of surprised that Rosie took the perspective she did on the documentary. I've seen a little bit of that.
I thought I had a statement from her.
I would love to. I could not find anything.
Rosie had a statement. Let me find it. I'm going to pause one sec. Okay, I found it. So this was released. I'm getting it from Dose of Morning Crispy. So like it's not direct from Rosie, but there's screenshots.
Right.
I know a lot of people have questions, so I just want to clear up a few things respectfully. Prior to the trial, this is from Rosie, guys. Prior to the trial, I did speak with the prosecution, answered every question I was asked, and made it clear that I was willing to testify and cooperate in any way I needed. That's not what the police said in the documentary, but okay.
At all.
I also want to address the inclusion of my social media in the documentary. I never wanted followers, views, or personal attention connected to such a serious situation. I think the word you're looking for is tragedy.
Tragedy situation.
And I specifically expressed to directors that I did not want that aspect included. My interview lasted over 8 hours. I had no control over what portions would ultimately make the final cut. At no point was my intention to pick sides, defend anyone, or make light of the seriousness of the case. I was simply answering the questions I was asked based on my own experiences, knowledge, and what I personally witnessed. There are 2 examples of what I feel is the documentary pushing a narrative without providing my full explanations. And she shows text and she says, this is me and Bubba clarifying with the documentary before it was released that they would not include my social media account. So she has screenshots of a text.
Okay.
And she says, hey, just want to check that you got my email. Let me know. Basically, just want to check who owns the copyright to various images or clips we're hoping to use in the film. Oh, okay. This is okay. Nowhere does she say. Okay. So she's showing. Okay. I think this is Bubba and her. And that's kind of confusing me. Okay. Landon is Bubba. Okay.
Okay.
So the director is now. I'm sorry. I got this. I got it now. The director saying, hey, just want to check that you got my email. Let me know. If not, and I'll resend. Bubba responds, hello. Yes, we've been meaning to get that done. We did have one question, though, nothing bad. We are just curious of what the screenshot of Rosie's YouTube channel is for. We know that it is inevitable for people to find her page. Heck, some might already know her. Ha. But we just try to keep that as separate as possible. But again, we know it's inevitable. We are just trying to see if it is possible. If it would be possible to leave it out or whatever. But again, we aren't worried or upset, just curious. Thank you. And we'll get that done for you guys today. So that's them supposedly, but they were agreeing to it over and over.
Yeah, that wasn't asking them not to use it.
Yes.
Are they still together? I was trying to figure that out.
I don't know. But the director responds, hey, no, that's a really good point. And sorry, that was something I should have raised with you before. If you don't want people to be able to locate the page, then we could lose it all together or mock something up so there are no identifying details or handles. And we're currently using a screen grab of Rosie's YouTube page in a section in which we talk about how she and Mackenzie bonded over modeling, but we can absolutely make it so that we either lost that together, blah, blah, blah. And they said, yes, it is fine for a mock-up if you are able to do that. Thank you. So now I want to go back and see, was it a mock-up? And if so now we need to know what to do. But that's her statement.
Interesting. But didn't she say in the crash that she refused to talk to the prosecutor?
She didn't say that. Tim Troop said that.
Did he say it? I was trying to remember.
He said, gee, I'm glad she talked to you. I've been trying to get a hold of her and nothing.
I mean,
and then somebody wrote in and said, Pretty-esque, one of our listeners, wrote in and said, I'm assuming they didn't subpoena her, Rosie, because her attorney would have just instructed her to plead the fifth throughout the questioning.
Such a good point.
I know I would. She can't be compelled to testify against her own interest.
Okay, well, that answers that. Yeah. That's so helpful.
You know me, I just don't ever give me subpoena power because I'm just going to run loose with it.
Don't cross Amy when she has her subpoena power.
All right. Anything else from the phone calls?
It's just a lot of the same thing. It's a lot of Mackenzie going over her day-to-day, them discussing how it's terrible and unfair that she's there and that they're working on it. Just
an unsettling cavalier attitude is what you're saying.
Always. Always. And it's really funny. Well, interesting, funny, sad. I don't know how you want to describe it.
Yeah.
But Mackenzie doesn't listen to her mom. Like, they'll be on the phone and her mom will be like, "Oh, I saw so and so today. They said to tell you this." And Mackenzie will just kind of cut her off and be like, "Oh, did you see that email that so and so sent? Did you need to respond this to them?" And like, is
Interesting.
my commissary going to be here? It's kind of interesting. Sometimes she's really engaged with her mom, and sometimes she's very like dismissive of her. It's super interesting.
Do we ever hear dad calling?
Yes. Mom doesn't let dad get on the phone very much. I don't think she trusts him to not say anything. That was the
Okay.
impression I was under.
Okay.
He got on the phone a couple of times and he's very much, you were wrong. This is bullshit. We're going to get you out of there. It's a lot of that. But the one time he was talking, I forget, they were talking pretty poorly about someone. I don't remember if it was one of Dom's family members. I don't remember if it was his mom or his older sister. And she was like, get off the phone, and kind of took it back. But if anybody's interested in those, I'm not kidding. There's a channel called Phone Calls from Prison, and they have other phone calls from prison from other people on there. It's actually really.
Is Alec Murdoch and his son on there? I'm sure.
Oh, they are.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That'd be a good source for that.
Yeah.
But there's hours of it. I mean, they spent so much time on the phone, and you really get some insight into their relationship.
Interesting.
Yes.
Okay. Victim impact statements. Did you want to say something about that?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Grab my little stacks.
Grab your little stack of cards.
Yes. So, and I also have some notes about what Natalie, Mackenzie's mother, said, because we only saw a snippet of her statement in the documentary, and I wanted to kind of start with that.
I really wish that we saw more of that trial in the documentary.
Yes, me too.
I really do. Like, this is what I'm talking about. This documentary could have been 3 episodes.
Totally. We could have had we
could have had
episodes.
The mean girl situation in the front.
Yes.
Then the crash and the investigation, and then the trial and the fallout. 3 episodes. There you go.
What series did we watch where they were broken up into the prosecution and the defense?
Oh, I forget.
But I remember we both really liked that concept because you got to see both sides. I cannot for the life of me remember what it is.
We've covered so much.
I know. So I took a couple bullet points from what Natalie said.
Okay.
So apparently the morning of the crash, she and Dom's mom exchanged some words and were off to a bad start pretty early on. Because she was trying to get a hold of Dom because she knew there was an accident. And Natalie said that she didn't know who all was in the car. So she was trying to get hold of Dom to see if he was okay or if he knew what was going on, and he didn't answer. So then she called his mother, and she said that his mom was like, "What do you mean my son is dead?" And
wait. Natalie Shirilla is the one who told.
No, the police had already told Dom's mom, whose name is Christine, and his sister's Christina. So that's a little confusing. No, but she had already known, and she was upset because she had seen that Natalie had already been commenting on Facebook about it, because people were already saying things about Mackenzie and calling her a murderer. And I guess Natalie was commenting on there saying, my daughter's not a murderer. My daughter's not a murderer. So Natalie she defends this and explains this in her statement to the judge. And she wants to talk about that. And she spent some time talking about how they just really wanted Mackenzie's social media shut down because they didn't want to get harassed. They didn't want Mackenzie to see people saying these negative things about her once she recovered. And then she tries to acknowledge and then brush past the whole modeling engagement of it all right after the accident. The Halloween party. I would say for anyone that's watched her whole statement, this was pretty compelling. The infamous Halloween party, right?
Where Mean Girl murder narrator tells us they were dressed like corpses.
Yes.
But weren't they really kind of just dressed like Insane Clown Posse?
Juggalos? Were they juggalos?
Yes, right.
I actually, way off topic, I had to explain to a 23-year-old coworker what juggalo was.
Oh my God, that's funny.
She was looking at me like I was crazy, so I just pulled up one of their concerts.
It was YouTube. A very specific time.
Carnival of Darkness, no?
Yes.
Okay. But anyway, she said that they encouraged her to go to that Halloween party. Natalie and Steve Shirilla did, because Mackenzie was really sad. She had been just laying around crying for 3 months and said they wanted her to go. She said, "I just wanted my baby to have a little bit of fun, a little bit of fun." So she said that Steve drove her to the party, and then she went the next morning and picked her up, and that she could barely walk. But a lot of people who have seen the pictures and the videos are like, could
She's
barely
like
walk.
dancing and shit.
Yeah, yeah. So she really tries to lean into the fact that she was infirmed and just
She
wanted to
was
go
at a
have a fun.
concert in a bikini, like, the next day in a wheelchair.
Yes. Well, that's okay. That's actually one of my next points.
Okay.
Because she said that's okay because that concert was in honor of Dom. It was an artist that he really liked. They said the name and I didn't write it down, but I could not remember who it was because I don't know much music past like 2004.
Right. Wow. I'm stuck in 1974, so I gotcha.
Yeah. Yes. And she said that that was with his family and that was in honor of him. So that's fine. That's
okay.
Everybody's blowing that out of proportion.
I'm going to see if I can find the concert, but go ahead.
And then at one point, I wrote this down because I was so appalled. And this is right before the judge starts ripping her a new one. It's like, oh, hold on. There was one more thing I was going to say. And then the judge is like, this has been all about your daughter. That's when she says that. And there was a clip from that they didn't show in the crash. Natalie says, all you need is a 5-minute conversation with Kenzie to see who she really is, and you'll know her.
Who said this?
Her mother.
Her mother?
Yeah. So I'll just let that sit. You know? So
okay.
Yeah. So that was what Natalie said, Mackenzie's mother.
Okay.
So next I have Dom's mother, Christine Russo. She gave her victim impact statement. It was really powerful. It was short,
I imagine,
to the point. I really, really liked her. The first thing she said, and I thought this was a really powerful opening line, she said, no one wanted this to be a murder or to punish Kenzie for a murder. We wanted it to be an accident.
Of course.
You know,
you don't want to think that somebody killed your child on purpose.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know,
and they don't benefit in any way by locking this girl up. They don't benefit.
Yes.
It doesn't bring Davion back. They don't get money from it. Like they don't benefit.
Exactly. And, you know, she addresses Mackenzie's parents. There's a big theme of this, and this is something you hear in the phone calls, that this was, you know, rigged. It was fixed. You know, they didn't get their side. And she's like, the evidence is what it is, guys. And it shows this was not an accident.
And Dom's family, remember, went to the trial on Kenzie's side.
Day one.
So, like, they were essentially mock jurors because the prosecution won them over and changed their minds.
Absolutely. Well, and this is another powerful line she said, and you're going to like this, about the Shirillas. She said, the cries from the Shirillas are no more than a lack of remorse.
Wow.
It's powerful. Okay. It's powerful. And then she touches on the incident of the social media phone calls the morning of the crash and gives her perspective on that. And she said that when she spoke to Natalie, Mackenzie's mother, that morning, one of the first things that Natalie said to Christine was, please don't believe everything you see on Facebook. And Christine was like, I don't give a flying fuck about Facebook right now. My son has just passed away. I don't care. I'm not even looking at it, thinking about it. It's not on my radar.
No.
And this was something else she said, and this was really poignant, especially in the society we live in. She said, social media has made a game out of the life of Kenzie, and it's making a game out of this heart-wrenching tragedy.
Yeah.
I thought that
people
was powerful.
all need to delete their social media profiles.
Oh my gosh.
Anyone with the last name Shirilla within the sound of my voice, please listen. Delete your social media profiles. Just do it. Just go away.
You know, and then her final thing she said was, Kenzie, you're going to prison because you did this. Be thankful you're still alive and have a future, whatever that may be. Dom and Davion were robbed of their futures, hopes, and dreams. So,
Jesus,
I know,
it's devastating.
I know. Then next, I have Davion's mom and sister. His mom, Jamie, and his sister. And we were misspeaking. It's not Devine, it's Divine.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So,
and I will say, there's a person in our Facebook group who is related to these people. Loosely, and said they are like one of the most magnificent families. Like,
they seem like it.
Yeah, just wonderful, wonderful people.
Oh,
Mhm.
they seem like it, and Jamie's victim impact speech is beautiful. It's
Mhm.
absolutely beautiful. She says, Davion was more than cargo. He wasn't this collateral damage, he
Yeah.
wasn't this cargo, and
What a good-looking kid too. Like,
oh, he was.
even his smile, like, you're
Yes.
like, he was very charming.
Yes, and everybody says that he
Mhm.
was, like, funny and goofy, and you can tell all
Mhm.
the videos, he just looks like he was always having fun, and she says that, she says he was warm, and he was open
Mhm.
to everybody, and he was loving, and he didn't stick with a clique of friends. She said he hung out with all the kids in every
Mhm.
social group, every demographic, and it was really important for him that people felt included, and she attributed that to, having a more difficult start to life, being
Mhm.
raised in foster care and
Sure.
being adopted out of foster care, and she acknowledges she says that it's so special to them that were chosen to be his forever family and everything, and I mean, it was
I'm gonna
beautiful. I
cry.
can't even I know I am too. Well, and,
Fuck.
she talks about how this loss for his sisters because he's their big
Mm.
brother that they had each other since birth, and
Yeah.
she was like, "We can't fill that void."
Yeah.
And she just spoke so eloquently about that
Mhm.
and the loss of his dreams, and she said she prays that, Mackenzie will find true remorse and just something,
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
And then Divine, she did a really good job too.
And
You
she
know,
was in Mean Girl Murders, right?
she
She
was,
was
yep.
in it, yeah.
She had a talking head in that.
Mhm. Mhm.
She goes into how he was her person and her big brother and her best friend, and she said, "He's the only person that has known me since I was born in my life, in my
Yeah.
family." And, she talks about how, she goes to him for things and how
Mhm.
navigating life without him is it's gut-wrenching.
Heartbreaking. Yeah. Yeah.
And while we're talking about them, the Davion Scholarship,
Mm.
okay?
Mhm.
So and we can put a link for this for sure, I
Yeah,
bet.
absolutely.
So it's called and they have a Facebook group,
Mhm.
Davian Flanagan Memorial Fund. The
Mhm.
group has a GoFundMe link, and they share a lot of updates and information about that.
Mhm.
They've given 1 scholarship so far. It was
Oh,
awarded to
it's gonna blow up.
Yes, I can't wait.
Mhm.
His parents said that's something they were hoping from this documentary would
Mhm.
help that.
Mhm.
Yeah, at Allstate Hairstyling and Barber College in Cleveland, and like we
Cool.
saw in the crash, they wanna make his dreams come true for other
Yeah.
people if they can, and
Yeah.
they're just
Love
really
that.
lovely people.
Love that.
And then I have Dominic's older brother, Angelo's victim impact statement, and this was interesting because we did not hear from Angelo at all in the
Mm-mm.
crash.
No, we didn't hear from Dom's mother either.
No, we didn't.
Mm-mm.
We didn't see any of that.
No.
I'm just curious.
Yeah.
So Angelo said he's one of Dom's older brothers, and he gave so much insight into Dom, okay? And
Oh,
Dom
okay.
sounds like he was so cool. You would
Yeah.
have loved Dom. You
Oh, I'm sure. Mhm. If there
so
was,
he
like, even a suspicion that he was up to no good, I would have been into him.
Oh, and he's got a
Mhm.
poet heart. So
Mhm.
he said he was just a businessman and entrepreneur. He said he was a really good athlete and producing music, and he just had so many passions.
Mhm.
And he said he was really goal oriented and he was always trying to improve himself and be better and do better, learn more. He loved learning about other cultures and other people's ways of life. And he liked to read books about it. And he loved reading. They said he read tons of books. He read every day and he enjoyed recommending books to people that he thought they would really enjoy or would help them.
I love that.
I know. How
Mhm.
cool is that?
That's cool.
And he said a few months before he passed, Dom disclosed to him that he was kind of interested in joining the military. He had been
Mm.
feeling called to serve his country.
Mhm.
Angelo said that he was like, I don't think that's a good idea, but Dom still wanted to do it, and that he was really helpful. He liked helping people, and he said he was a really selfless person. And then he said this statement. He said, "Mackenzie is the most selfish person I've ever met." He used the example of her saying, "Can't I just give up my license for 10 years or something?"
Mhm. Mm.
And, he said in his opinion, this happened because she didn't wanna lose Dom, and Davion was collateral damage. And it was just really touching to hear about him and hear about
Mhm.
who he was. I don't know. And
Mhm. And that brother, Angelo,
Mhm.
he is also the one who went down to the police station, was like, "This
Mhm.
relationship is a fucking nightmare, and everybody needs to know."
Yes.
Yeah.
And that was in the phone calls. Mackenzie and her mom are very upset about them going
Sure
to the
they
police
are.
and using those phone calls and texts and that video that came out. She was mortified.
I mean, it's true.
It's hard.
Okay.
They just were like, they shouldn't have been able to use it.
I want to share a comment here from our listener, Beth, who is a local. She said, I live in a neighboring city to where this happened. First date with my husband at a restaurant a mile away from the site.
Yeah.
This road is very, very curvy in parts. And they talked about that in the documentary. And in a very busy area. Some of those curves even have those mirror domes on them for extra visibility. You can lose control just by not paying attention. So there's really no way to maneuver the way she did in the video if she wasn't conscious, like 0% chance. Mackenzie lives in a wealthier and whiter city in the same county as Cleveland. That being said, a jury of citizens from anywhere in Cuyahoga, I think it is, county, would likely have been harder on her than the judge. Also, local opinion. Generally, people don't like her, think she's a spoiled brat. Strongsville is a city I would describe as a little richer than the rest of the county, but I think they view themselves as a little more affluent than they really are.
Oh, we all know what that means, don't we? Yeah.
So that was, she said, personally, I don't know anyone that thinks of her as anything but guilty.
So interesting. Oh, thank you for all the people who've been giving local perspective. It's been so appreciated. Thank you so much.
Yeah. So I wanted to bring in, we did have one comment that was kind of interesting and was presenting alternate theories and facts.
Okay.
And so Ray writes, I have so many thoughts about this. My middle daughter is this age, and I have one daughter older and one daughter younger. My middle daughter has POTS. My mom was involved in an accident where the car suddenly accelerated in a parking lot and she drove off a 50-foot embankment. She doesn't remember the accident or the day of the accident. She has no known medical issue and there was no malfunction of the car. Bottom line, to me, Mackenzie absolutely has responsibility as the driver of the vehicle and some jail time is absolutely appropriate. But you cannot, without a shadow of a doubt, prove intent. And 15 years seems like a lot, but I'm not a judge. Is she a horrible person? Debatable. But if she is, I think her boyfriend is also not that great. All the parents bear some responsibility for their kids not being well supervised. There's no reason why any of them should have been out partying all night and then in a car at 5:30 in the morning. But I'm going to push back here and say that Dom was 20 years old.
Yeah, and had his own house.
There's a big age difference there. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I wanted to bring this comment in because I wanted to just say, like, this is a really interesting question. How would things have been viewed differently if Mackenzie had also died in the crash?
Right. Is that not a golden question or what?
Or what if one of the passengers had been the one who survived?
Oh, that would be a huge game changer.
It's interesting.
And it would be interesting to find out if Mackenzie also passed away. How deep would the investigation have gone?
Right.
You know what I mean?
And what would her parents be thinking and saying then?
Yes.
Another person wrote, I need Amye and Kyla's reactions to the parents following and liking Mackenzie's social media posts of where she's smoking weed.
You guys, I saw that. That's a big thing right now. Lots of people, because they say they didn't know about some of this, but
Yep. And you should have heard her father, Steve Shirilla, on TMZ saying, what was I going to do? Was I going to lock her in her room? Now, it's interesting because I just came upon a situation like this. I don't want to get into details, but like my girls are almost 20.
Right.
And I'm in a situation where I'm like, well, what am I going to do? Like, even with the tattoos, I can't tell them not to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Hold back. My mom has always said one of the hardest stages of parenting has been parenting her adult children. Yeah. Because you just can't.
My pushback to them is she was 17.
Yes.
You still had some levers to pull.
Said that.
Yes.
Yeah, you're 17. And like he said, take her car.
When TMZ is telling you how to parent.
Who has ever been like, TMZ, that was really insightful.
Wait, what's that dude's name? Harvey. What's his name?
I always want to say
TMZ. I always want to say Weinstein. It's not him. It's
Levin.
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 When Harvey Levin has to
is
tell
like,
you how to
dude,
parent your child. You
dude.
need to look in a mirror, Steve Shirilla.
It was hard.
So
That was hard to watch a little bit.
I wanted to read his comment, Steve's, on his leave.
Yeah.
Steve confirmed to 19 News that he was placed on administrative leave, but added that he didn't know anything else about the investigation at the time. According to the report, Steve is, quote, upset with the documentary and how the editing of it came out, and said that there was much more he said that was not included in the crash. And even when he was on TMZ, he said, I never said that pot is good. I never said that.
Context, Amy.
It was out of context. I'm like, yes, you did say that, motherfucker.
You did say that. You did. Like, they didn't. I doubt they're cutting your sentences up and patching them together.
He said, my answer was not in support of marijuana, and I didn't allow my daughter to do it, but I can't lock her up.
But you can it on the documentary.
And then the TMZ dude, the other guy, he goes, yeah, and we should point out that they didn't find marijuana in her system. And Steve, to his credit, does go, well, yes, they did.
Yes, he did say that.
Like,
yeah, he's like, okay. Yeah, they did. Yeah, they did.
At least we're not in complete Dululu land, you know?
Okay, with Steve, did you know, he keeps saying and her mom too, we have all this evidence that's going to exonerate her, basically. And when they're asking about it, he was just tripping over his words. It was hard to watch a little bit.
There's nothing to exonerate her.
Now, what do you think of him saying they have their own car expert, talking about this dip in the road?
It doesn't matter. Right. Like, again, nobody benefits from her going to jail over this.
Yes.
They exactly. I believe they investigated this pretty thoroughly and objectively, in my opinion.
Yeah. Right. And if you remember, Dom and Davion's families were like, what is going on? Like, TikTok on the clock. Are we doing anything?
They easily could have wrote this off as an accident. Very easily. Yes. She had THC in her system. They could have written it off as an accident. Boom, done. Book closed. We're done with this. Move on.
They took it very seriously.
They did.
Even as we talked about, they got a prosecutor from another county and that has handled stuff like this more. And we're like, please help us.
Mackenzie's statement from jail. This was posted a few weeks ago on an Instagram account that her mother runs. From Mackenzie. Thank you to those who see through the lies and to those who take time out of their day to form their own opinion as the truth of what actually happened. I'm not perfect. I never will be, but I am not guilty of murder. Like any young couple, Dom and I had our disagreements and arguments. However, I always loved Dom and would never do anything to hurt him, Davion, or anyone else I care about. I will respectfully and peacefully continue to fight for my innocence through the proper legal channels. To all of those who speak out on my behalf to raise awareness of this wrongful conviction, words cannot describe my sincere appreciation for your support and for being my voice. Continue to scream free Mackenzie Shirilla at the top of your lungs. If it can happen to her, it can happen to us. I just want to say something. Does this girl think that if let's say she was drunk, okay, and this was an accident, you're still going to jail. You killed 2 people. You would still go to jail for manslaughter. Correct.
I don't think I don't know. Right?
Like, you would still go to jail, though. Am I right?
Yeah. You're going to serve some type of jail time for killing people, even if like vehicular manslaughter or vehicular homicide. Like her dad's talking about what he thinks her charges should have been. I mean, I know it's significantly less time,
but like, you're where you belong, girl. You need to have a come to Jesus moment in there and do some work on yourself.
Yes, and it's kind of funny since we're on our Stephen Avery journey right now, but she's kind of acting like there's this whole conspiracy against her that everybody just wanted to mess up her life.
There's a classic example. Like, we are on our Stephen Avery journey. Yeah. And please don't spoil it for us because we have not watched the new documentary. So we know that there is a large contingent of people who think that he's actually guilty. We will get there in our time. But right now we are on our journey. So we're at the part of the program where everyone thinks Stephen Avery was framed. The police had a reason to frame him. I'm not saying they did. I'm just saying but there was something at stake. Right. There's a motive. Thank you. There's something at stake. They were trying to get out of this payment that they had to make. But like with Mackenzie Shirilla, these cops do not benefit in any way.
No, from this random 17-year-old girl. Like, they're not going. No. And
go ahead.
No, I was just exasperated.
Yeah. I just want to wrap it up with this Annie Elise stuff. So she just had a few things that were left out of the documentary. I mentioned the evidence of the blood work and how that was really wanky. But then she said, after the crash, Mackenzie was taken to Metro Health Medical Center. While there, Mackenzie's father told Police Sergeant Adam Doyle, and Annie Elise has screenshots, and she shows them. And so Mackenzie's father told Police Sergeant Adam Doyle that Mackenzie intentionally drove her vehicle into the building in an attempt to take her own life. Now, do we know if Steve was assuming this, if somebody had mentioned it to him? We don't know, but I thought it was interesting that was his first thought.
Right. And we've not mentioned that again.
There is evidence, like I said, of sex work. I don't know why that's relevant. It's really not. And I don't want to sex shame. I don't want to further stigmatize sex work. And I also don't want to, do this to that girl.
It doesn't matter.
No, doesn't matter. The parents tried to silence her friends while she was in the hospital. Dad allegedly said to one of the friends, "Please help me save my daughter." And so this was some strange behavior on Landon / Bubba's part.
Yeah.
Apparently, Bubba asked Davion's parents the day after the crash if he could walk through Davion's bedroom and just kind of have some closure and peace of mind. And they thought it was weird, but they granted him the permission. And then they found out like he wasn't cooperating with the police or anything, but turns out like he and Steve Shirilla were buddied up at the hospital chatting. So they don't know what that was about. People are speculating. And finally, in the police reports, Mackenzie is screaming at her parents in the hospital, cursing at them. That's why I was asking you.
Yeah.
If she's like nice to her parents, because I didn't know how she is.
Them. Okay. The Bubba thing. Actually, I'm glad you said that.
Yeah.
Divine said, apparently she's making TikToks. She's really starting to, speak her piece.
Divine?
Too. Divine is. She said that from her perspective and her opinion, Bubba was not as close to Davion as he was making it out to be. She said that she would have not considered him one of his like best friends. She said,
well, and I suspected that from her parents' reaction of, why do you want to walk through his bedroom? Okay, sure. Yes. But like this kind of weird.
And for what it's worth, the Shirillas adore him. They adore him and think he's fabulous. So,
Bubba. Okay. All right. Well, take that with a grain of salt.
Food for thought, right?
Yeah, guys, again, thank you so much for all of your comments. I really, I want to read one more though from Jill that we didn't get to. Yeah. She wrote, as a teacher,
here we go.
I cannot tell you how many parents I've seen like this. Ones who give their children no accountability, no responsibilities, and excuse every behavior. And I often think when they get out into the real world, the police aren't going to give a damn about your excuses or your anger. They will be the one to put boundaries on your child when you couldn't. And unfortunately, she took 2 other lives with her.
That's really
well said, Jill. Yeah.
Well said. Absolutely.
Yeah. What a heartbreaking case, guys. We hope you enjoyed this kind of deep dive. We just wanted to talk about, like, there was so much chatter. I felt like we needed another episode to kind of put all this to rest and talk about the
and there's more information,
Yeah. And talk about the lingering comments and all of that stuff. So if you guys enjoy what you hear and you want more from us, you can sign up for Murder Club, become a part of Murder Club.
Whoop, whoop.
For $8 a month, you get, like I said, we're doing Making a Murder episode by episode. So, I mean, those family phone calls. Wow.
It's just, if you enjoy a Wisconsin accent, come on over.
If you enjoy me trying to talk seriously in a Mickey Mouse accent,
it's so good.
And then Becca and I are currently doing Tiger King, but we also did the Jinx. We did the Staircase. We've done a lot of stuff.
A bunch of other stuff on there. Yeah.
You get 2 episods a week on there. So it's I think it's a pretty good deal. I hope.
I do too. Yeah.
Yeah. And if money's tight, like it is for many, many, many people, please just share the show with a friend. You can leave a 5-star review. You can follow us on Instagram at Murder She Watched Pod. And you can also become, this is a new thing, you could become a free member of our Patreon. So it's patreon.com/murdershewatch. You could be a free Patreon or patron, and then you could just kind of get updates and stuff like that from us. So
stay in the
mix.
Do
that too. Yep. All right, Kyla, thank you so much for your hard work here.
Thank you, Amy.
We really appreciate you. We appreciate your note cards and your RAV4.
My RAV4 and my not only so and they come with Sharpie and ink pen. I love color coding.
Remind me again, what color is your RAV4? Silver?
Black.
Black. Oh, right.
Black with like little blue flecks in it. My first time having a black car, it's true what they say. The rain really makes it look filthy.
Okay, so I had a black Highlander. That was my first Toyota that I ever had. I loved that car so much. And
nice.
it was never clean. I live on a dirt road though. Yeah. So it was never clean.
I know. I just kind of don't care. I mean, it is what it is. The next rain will wash it off and I'll have fresh dust.
Exactly. Thank you guys so much for listening. I was going to announce this on social, but I'll say it here now. I'm going to make a nice donation to the Davion Flanagan Scholarship Fund on behalf of all of the Couch Detectives. So if you guys don't have money to donate, I'll do that for you as part of your supporting me. So we'll all do it together.
Really cool. Yeah.
And we'll be posting.
What a great cause.
What a great cause.
I adore the Flanagan family. They seem like wonderful people. And I like hearing that people in the community really think so too.
I agree. And if there's something that Dom's family's doing too, please let me know. Maybe we should give his sister's channel a shout out. What is that? Do you know?
The Big Sister Unhinged.
Okay, Dom's so she's on YouTube.
Started a podcast and YouTube channel. I think you can do audio and video. And she's going live on Sundays. I think she's only doing that on TikTok, but she's just kind of giving her perspective.
Big Sister Unhinged.
Unhinged, yes. So.
And it's Christina, the one we saw in the documentary, right?
Christina, she's Christina. Mom is Christine. So.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. Thank you guys. Thank you, Kyla. And we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.